Good evening, I'm Michael Morchauer. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Live TV. I'm with you every Monday evening from 10 to 11 p.m. This is RIC TV, and we invite your participation. You do have an opportunity to call us, 353-1111. We want to discuss driving under the influence. We have a guest here who is the president of the local chapter of MAD, Carter Hill, who was with us a couple weeks ago, but we thought maybe a repeat appearance by Carter would certainly maybe stimulate a couple of youngsters not to drive while drinking or while under the influence of alcohol or any other self-administered drug. Carter, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It just seems like yesterday you were on, and what inspired me to ask Carter to come back, we called him around noontime today, was the fact of the interesting story on the front page of the Richmond Times-Dispatch dealing with Nikki Johnson, who is a young lady who had a car accident, and she's featured on the screen right now. Was involved in a car accident, it sounded like, what, 3 or 4 years ago, Carter?
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago.
3 years ago. And it happened where, at a location that I had a little problem at when I was in college, and that is driving down Main Street and driving through Monroe Park. It's kind of Monroe almost looks like a street that when you're coming off Main, and I remember driving onto that I guess walkway when I was in college back in probably 1959 or 1960, when Carter was probably 2 years old or wasn't even born. And the article on Miss Johnson was very moving, in which she was a VCU student, in which 2 young ladies were with her, and they were celebrating a birthday, and they were drinking shooters, and they were driving 70 miles an hour, and ended up going through Monroe Park and hitting a bench, and the passenger was a fatality. Another student in the back seat survived, and the driver, Nikki Johnson, survived. And Carter, you were saying you got some phone calls on that article, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And the phone calls I got today were mainly about, the lesser sentence that she got, for that crash. Well,
apparently she was not convicted of a felony, and she received no incarceration, and received a, what, 12-month suspended driver's license type of sentence?
12-month suspended jail sentence and $200 fine. This is, the way I understand, the grand jury indicted her 2 years after it happened.
And she was probably injured badly.
Right.
And the article went on to say that she has no memory, no recall.
Right. And
she walks on a cane and with a limp, and so she's had some difficulties. And I guess the long and the short of it was that she's been punished enough, and from the article, it's been on her conscience.
Right.
And she has no recall of of who was with her.
Right. And
has no recall of her friend who died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think she recalled that night, but she does know what happened.
Does or doesn't?
She does, because also in that newspaper article, she drew a picture of her friend that got killed.
I thought she did it from a picture, though.
She did.
From a picture.
Which, I mean, she probably don't remember anything that happened that night.
And so we want to, what I'm really impressed with, Carter, quite seriously, is these photographs.
Right. And
I want to move back a little bit, and I want these cameras, I want to look at some of these folks who are no longer with us. And these beautiful people died as a result of a driver who was under the influence of alcohol. And I know some of these names. That's what's really frightening. Or is Charles Pritchett.
Right.
That's a well-known Richmond guy. I don't know what he did. He was killed in 1981.
Right.
Do you know anything about him?
And I don't know that much about him. It was way before my time, but according to the caption underneath his picture, he was killed by a drunk driver that had a long record of traffic offenses, and the offender was sentenced to 3 months in jail and paid $85.12 cost of court.
Okay, up here we have another Richmond name, Stuart Crittenton. If you look in a phone book, I'm sure there's a a number of Crittendens, and here's a father and a son killed on a head-on collision with a drunk driver who died also in the crash.
Yeah, what happened here was somebody saw this driver driving erratically, called the state police. The state police were going to try to apprehend the vehicle, and before they did, this person ran into this father and son and killed them, and she died also.
Okay, we have just beautiful people. Whoops, I just dropped my drink of Sprite. We have a Christian, Dintelman, who I mean, everybody is a Mr. or Miss America. Look at that young lady. She passed away 1990. Is that one or 1993?
1993.
1993. And here's a beautiful young child, Corey Smith. And then we have Joyce Stiles and Terry Harris. Then we have a young lady down here, Susan Herring, which I believe, or Herzon, H-E-R, what does that say? Z-O-G?
Herzon, I think it is.
Herzon. But I want everybody to look at this, because I know you get calls about, well, Nikki Johnson was not convicted of a felony. She didn't receive any time, but I think this is more powerful. I mean, her story was, you know, she's suffering every day. She's partially paralyzed, and you can see it. The incident is eating away at her conscience.
Oh yeah.
And it just amazes me how many innocent people get struck by a drunk driver.
Yeah, most of the people that we have on this board weren't drinking at all when they were killed. And I guess the problem I have with it is, the laws that are in place are just not enforced in the state of Virginia.
Well, yes and no. I mean, you can go down the roster in any courtroom, and you'll see some people go walk out of the courtroom, some are taken out of the courtroom, are escorted out of the courtroom by marshals or deputies. Every case is different. Every person's background is different. Not everybody can be incarcerated, and you can't lock them up forever. And whether, you know, this drunk driver who struck Mr. Pritchett went away for 1 year or 3 years, most people don't read about everyday cases.
You're right.
That's the problem.
And I guess I'm confronted with that on a daily basis, and it's, you know, I've got calls. I get calls all the time. I've got cases all over the state of Virginia that, you know, it's just. This is my opinion. I think it's really hard to prosecute a felony, and you know, they can get lesser charges and let them go through the court systems. That's the only thing I can figure, because I know the laws are in place to convict these drunk drivers.
Well, just like murderers. I mean, there are people who are accused of first-degree murder.
That's right.
Some go to prison, and some are acquitted, and some cases are reduced to manslaughter, second degree. Right. It's just, you know, it depends upon the circumstances and what evidence is collected by the police.
I agree with that 100%. But when I see multi-offenders, you know, everybody makes mistakes. And I think we talked about this last time I was on your show. We're all human. We make mistakes. But the people that really get to me are the ones that continuously...
The repeat offenders.
Those are the ones that really get me. And these are the ones that I hear a lot about. And this Nikki Johnson was not a repeat offender by no means. She's out of that class. And just like you said, each case is individual. But so many times, and it looks like the majority of the time, the calls I get, these people have long records of drinking and driving, and all of a sudden they get the big one, they take somebody's life.
Well, you're talking about Virginia. You ought to go up in Maryland and look at their statistics. I mean, there have been some...
I agree, you're right.
There have been some Washington Post articles on drunk drivers in Maryland, how they're treated. They're treated like they're, you know, they're celebrities, second and third offenders. Right. They still have licenses. They still drive. So
you're right. You're right.
Virginia is not. But I mean, I have represented people for DUIs and for vehicular manslaughter. The courts are tough. I mean, the prosecutors over the last 5-10 years have cracked down.
Yeah, it's tougher now than it was 10 years ago. I can tell you that. I mean, you can even look at this board and see where things are getting tougher, you know, in the sentencing and everything. But, you know, my whole thing is, you know, if you have a repeat offender and he's in jail, he certainly can't drink and drive anymore.
Well, how are you going to stop him?
He's in jail. He don't drive when he's in jail.
You can't keep him in jail but for so long.
Well,
that's the problem. They get out.
You're
and, you know, jail is a
We've had
temporary solution.
You're right.
It's you know, you know, education and parental kind of supervision is the key.
You're right.
We'd like to have some participation. 353-1111. I'm Mike Morchar. We have Carter Hill, who is the president of the local MAD chapter. We're here to take your calls, particularly, you know, holiday season. It's just everybody seems to want to participate in consuming alcohol.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
As long as you don't drive.
Right. Just don't drive that car, because you don't want to be thinking about the party that you went to 12 months ago when you're trying to get through the court systems, you know.
This article also went into the fact that in Virginia you can't, it's almost impossible to sue the bartender and the owner of the establishment.
It is impossible because of the dram shop law.
Right, and so Virginia is one of a minority of states that make it very difficult, if not impossible.
If this case would have been in North Carolina, right across the line, the Virginia line, it would have been completely different.
But suing is not going to bring bring somebody back. Number one. Number two, it's how much punishment is it when you have insurance, and the insurance company pays?
Well, it goes up, or it gets canceled.
Yeah, it goes up or gets canceled. A lot of people drive without insurance and really could care less.
I know, but you know, just like other people that get sued nowadays, it's a deterrent for doing things. Possibly, I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe.
A lot of people aren't thinking that clearly.
I'm talking about bartenders in the bars and their negligent operations. My son was being served in a bar when he left and got killed.
Was he underage?
He was 20 years old, and they were serving him like, you know, it was no tomorrow. And this girl was 20 years old when this crash happened.
She was a student celebrating her birthday.
So it was the same thing, you know, and if you read that article, the girl that got killed, her mother puts a lot of blame on the bar and the bartender for serving them like that. One girl was a .25, and I think the other one was a .27.
Do you know how many people have phony driver's licenses?
Right, but that wasn't the case. You know, if somebody goes into a bar and they have a phony driver's license, the bar's done everything they can possibly do to try to deter it. But it's been my experience that
they don't look.
They don't look.
They don't check.
They're not taking, you know, that much time to try to ensure that everybody's in the bar is over the age of 21.
Okay, 353-1111. You have an opportunity to participate. What kind of programs around the holidays is the organization MAD involved in?
We just did ASAP today up at the DMV. We do that once a month. We finish up at 7 o'clock today. A lot of the programs now will just be speaking engagements, you know, the local Rotaries, the local civic associations, just trying to pound the streets to educate people. You know, you said it right. It's all education. I think a lot of times when I go and talk to people, they don't even know what the laws are, and once they find out in the statistics, they don't realize how many people get killed by drunk drivers and that type of thing. Once they find out, I think their whole attitude changes. Well, it's been my experience.
But it's so expensive. You know, if you get a DUI, it's so inconvenient, so expensive, between attorney fees, court fees, ASAP fees, insurance fees, going back and forth to to court. Yeah. It's a big waste of time. All you had to do is cut back or not drive. And like you say, usually people go out in 2-somes, 3-somes, or 4-somes. Designated driver.
That's the
Everybody
best way.
chip in $10 and say, it's your turn to drive. We're going to pay you $40 to drive us around. And everybody else can get as drunk as
great idea.
As a skunk. And
it's a great idea.
That's the way to go.
Or call a cab.
Call a cab.
Actually, if you take a DUI and divide it into how many times you can call a cab, and we've done that several times, you could probably drink at least once a week for a couple of years.
Okay, 353-1111. We want to hear from you after these announcements.
Mr. Morchow represented me in a firearms case. We had a jury trial. He won that case. Mr. Morchow represented me in a Caroline County case, and that was a jury trial. He won that case. We had one charge go to the appeals court, and here again, Mr. Morchow won this case. So no matter what court you're in, Michael Morchow will win the case.
Imagine what it's like to be a child growing up today. One of the biggest pressures they'll face is the temptation to use drugs. Whether they do or not could depend largely on you. Join me, Gordon Pryor, from Parents, Kids, and Drugs every other Thursday night at 7. We'll educate you on what's happening in our community, what signs to look out for, and how you can talk to your kids. They need you now more than ever. Parents, Kids, and Drugs every other Thursday night at 7 on RIC TV.
And they're off.
We're back. I'm Mike Morchow. Thank you for joining us here tonight on RIC TV. This is live programming, 353-1111. We have Carter Hill, who lost a son in as a result of a drunk driver, and we're here to take your calls. We have a lot of beautiful people up here who lost their lives because of a drunk driver. And if you know anybody who's been killed, we'd like to hear from you. We'll go right to Scott. Scott, how are you?
Oh, okay. How you gentlemen doing?
Fine.
Yes, I'd like to make a couple comments here.
Sure.
I think the state, I'm not blaming the whole problem on the state.
No, I know. You're gonna blame the Commonwealth of Virginia for selling alcohol.
Okay, for 11 years I worked 3 to 11, and the plant next door to us worked 4 to 12, and them people could not get off work at 12 o'clock and go to the 7-Eleven and buy a six-pack and go home. But they could go sit in a bar or somewhere and drink mixed drinks and beer until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I think they ought to extend it to 12:30 or 1 o'clock so a person can go home, get their beer and go home
right.
to their families and sit in front of the TV and be home with their families and drink their beers or whatever they want to do.
Okay.
And then you go, they have taxes on alcohol. The state, you go get a mixed drink at a bar, at a bar and grill, or
right.
bar and grill. The state is making money every time you have a mixed drink.
Okay.
And one bartender might fix a drink stronger than the other one.
Right.
And the state, I think, could do more to help this problem than what they're doing. They're trying to make money off from it. That's what they're trying to do.
Okay, thanks for the call, Scott. Appreciate the call. Let's go to Kevin. Kevin, how are you? Hi, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're on live television.
I had a comment, I guess, mainly on your education. Is that why do you have to get drunk? I believe it's good to have a designated driver, but with your education, anything in excess certainly isn't good for you. Whether it's liquor or your diet, or there's a lot of things that aren't good for you. But I think educational-wise, you should be able to go out and have a good time, but there's no reason to drink yourself under a table or drink yourself into such a submission that you have to have someone, if you have a few too many beers. But I think the problem in education needs to be more on the excessive, get a designated driver and go out and get everybody else get plastered. I mean, that doesn't, you ought to be having a good time without getting plastered, I would think.
Well, the point is you have somebody sober who is driving. That's the key.
Right. I agree with that part, and I think it's good.
And what everybody else does, you're not gonna, you can't correct all the ills of society. If you can just get a sober driver behind the wheel, you've accomplished about as much as you could hope, I think.
I don't know. I think with your education, you need to direct it a little bit that way, and even eventually, it's not going to happen overnight, but maybe in 15 or 20 years, it will change a little bit.
Okay.
Enjoy your show. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for calling. So I guess we put a full court press on the evils of anything excessive, eating chocolate, food,
Absolutely.
alcohol, Pepsi Colas, excessive, anything to an excess could be detrimental, right?
Well, yeah, but I've never heard anybody eat a lot of food and run over top of somebody.
Well, the key is somebody, if we can get a sober driver,
Absolutely.
a sober person behind the wheel.
That's right.
All these people would have been saved.
That's right.
Even if 3 other people in the car were drunk.
If we had a sober driver behind the wheel every time, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Right. Let's go to William. That's why I'm focusing on the driver.
That's right.
Let's go to William. William, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Michael?
Fine. Appreciate the call.
I was wondering, there's a lot of, I realize the topic is, mothers against drunk driving, and believe me, I'm not for drunk driving excessively, but, I noticed there's a lot of people, some friends of mine had gotten in trouble on drug charges, and they're driving around taking drugs, and they laugh because they get off, and the charges because they can't prove that they're high. And, a lot of these doctors out here overprescribing, and, I just don't think it's fair for, all the mothers to take it out on, hey, I feel sorry for their losses and stuff. Well, I don't know. Can you answer any of that?
Well, it's a little more difficult to prove driving under the influence of a self-administered drug because you can't smell it usually. It's not as obvious, and it's not going to be. I don't think you can determine what you've consumed from a prescription or non-prescription drug from a breathalyzer. So it gets more difficult if you're consuming drugs. And I think drugs, there are probably as many accidents as a result of people using drugs as alcohol. So I don't think we mean to suggest that it's all right to drive when you're drugged up, but not when you're drugged up with alcohol. Carter, what do you think?
That's true, and I will say this. Number one, a lot of people will take prescription drugs and drive, even though it says right on that bottle, don't drive or operate machinery while taking these drugs. Secondly, our local police departments are training their police officers to detect people that are under the influence of drugs, and they are being charged with DWI, driving while under influence. And Mothers Against Drunk Driving totally opposes that too. It's just not alcohol. We oppose any type of impairment while driving, to answer that second part of your question.
Okay, appreciate the call. Let's jump to Ashley. Ashley, how are you?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Thanks for the call.
You're welcome. I would like to ask both of you, why is it that a younger person, a person who's not even legally able to drink, in Virginia anyway, can kill another person and yet somehow get often, not always, get a lesser sentence than an old man who's been an habitual offender, say, and who kills someone? Or not even a habitual offender, a one-time offender.
Okay, you're saying why is a youthful offender treated more leniently than
Yes, exactly. I mean, it seems almost like the court treats them with sympathy and, poor thing, this is her first time, and we don't want to ruin her life.
Well,
somebody's dead.
We're all
just as dead as that with the other guy.
I think I think our human nature is so inclined as to favor a youthful offender than an adult offender. Usually a youthful offender may not, well, not usually, but maybe the youthful offender doesn't have the kind of record the adult offender has, but youthful offenders may be more amenable to rehabilitation. So, but I've seen judges throw the book at youthful offenders, so there's no hard and fast rule. Okay? All right, you agree with any
Well, I guess the only thing I agree with, General Assembly puts forth laws for, and they're for everybody. And of course, that's not the way it works. And if you go back a million years, each case is being taken, individually, just like you said before. And I don't think that'll ever change. But I feel like, we go to the General Assembly, we try to get these laws put in place. We feel like that everybody should be prosecuted under the same laws.
Okay, but not everybody should be treated alike, because the circumstances of each case are different, and each person is different.
Right.
You could be an 08 or you can be a 2.1.
That's right. And we have laws in place that make the penalties more stiffer for, when you go to that .225 level.
Yeah, maybe. That's not a hard and fast rule, I don't think. Let's go to Tony. Tony, how are you?
Well, happy holidays, guys.
Fine.
Quick question. Is Mothers Against Drunk Driving a prohibitionist organization?
It's definitely not, from what I hear. Carter Hill can tell you. It's a prohibition. It subscribes to prohibiting people from driving while under the influence of drugs or alcohol. It doesn't advocate abstention from drinking, I think, from what I hear, Carter.
Well, this question is asked a lot, and we are and have been for many years perceived as a bunch of little old ladies chasing drunk drivers up and down the street with a cane. Actually, our main #1 focus is not the alcohol, but the driving while under the influence of alcohol is our main focus. We have never, that I can ever remember, tried to do anything with the sale of alcohol. We might have tried to lower the BAC, the blood alcohol content.
Or raise the age, maybe.
Or stuff like that. But we have never, that I can ever remember, of any, as far as man has gone back, ever have tried to stop the sale of alcohol.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Tony?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, let's go to Diane. Diane, how are you?
I'm fine.
Hi, you're on RIC TV.
Yes. I think, I certainly don't know the statistics about which you're speaking, but I would assume that many of the people that you're talking about are problem drinkers. They're not first-time offenders. They're not the single-shot, one-time deal.
Right.
Many of these people have 3 and 4 and more DUIs.
Well, I don't know about that. I think you'd be surprised.
No, I do.
Do you?
I know people who have, it took 4 years to have their permit taken away. They have been allowed to have their permit back, and they're making mockery of the system. As long as you're dealing with problem alcoholics, those people don't stop and think about designated drivers. Until the system gets tighter and they monitor those people, and I mean monitor them closely.
How do you do that?
It's going to be cost prohibitive. That's going to be the problem, is because you need to do it on a frequent basis, and it's cost prohibitive. But they're going to keep letting these people have their permits back until someone gets killed.
I don't know what statistically whether these people, there's a couple here who have been, a couple fatalities from a second and third DUI, but they're probably a majority of them are first-time offenders, if I had to guess. I don't know, Carter. Do you know anything about that? 75% first-time offenders?
I would probably say at least 60% first-time offenders. But there's 2 types of people that drink and drive that statistically that scare me. Number 1, it's the kind that don't drink a whole lot, like the college girl we talked about earlier on the show.
Who was featured in the Times-Dispatch yesterday.
Right.
Right.
They go out to celebrate a birthday. They're not used to drinking.
They go overboard.
They go overboard, and they crash, okay? And then you've got the other type that drink all the time. It's just a matter of time before they get the big one, and they're multi-offenders. And there's plenty of them out there.
Multi-offenders that have been, some of whom have been prosecuted, and multi-offenders sometimes who have been lucky enough not to be prosecuted.
Yeah, we see a lot where if a case is iffy, it'll be reduced to reckless driving. Sometimes on a third offense, if it occurred maybe 5 or 6, their second offense occurred maybe 5 or 6 years prior, the judge will go ahead and call it a second offense rather than going to a third offense and being charged with a Class 6 felony, which is on third offense within 10 years.
Well, I work with the legal system, and by the time we get to the manslaughter instances where those cases, those people have been given not only DUIs, but driving on suspended license. They're repeat offenders. Most of those people, when they finally reach that point, they've been given so many chances. Yeah. And so many of these people, and I know because I have dealt with it too personally, good lawyers, if you get yourself a good lawyer, for DUIs, you can manage. Now, the laws are much tougher now than when I when I was dealing with it.
For DUIs, I mean, no judge is going to treat a four-time offender leniently in Virginia.
Well, but why did it get to 4?
Well, I'm picking a number you picked.
Right, well, but I'm saying, I know the 4 was the number. It should never have gotten to 4.
Well, you have 2 DUIs. Your second DUI, the judge is coming down on you. A third DUI
was limited time in jail, and a 4th was 5 years with no permit.
Yeah.
And now has the permit back. So I'm just,
I don't know what you should do with him. I mean, tell me what you should do with
That's my question.
Yeah, tell me what you would do with a 4-time offender.
I wish I knew. Because I deal with it every day, I ask them the same thing to their faces. What do you want us to do with you? Where can we put you? We can't lock them up.
No, we don't have room.
Keep them forever. You can't do that.
And everybody has a sob story.
And so you can't. And if it's a problem, you want to get them help. But the problem is there's too many people out there you can't help. And I've asked them to their faces time and time again, you put the judge in a corner. What do you want us to do? We take your permit and you drive anyway.
Well, not everybody, but some.
No, but I'm talking about the problem drinkers.
The chronic DUI driver.
Who eventually are going to hurt somebody, who have done it over and over again.
Yeah, the chronic offender obviously is in one category. You know, the unlucky, you know, a lot of it's luck or good luck or bad luck. I mean, there are a lot of people driving who never, you know, they don't drive into a roadblock. Some people are just unfortunate. If you're an 08 and there's a roadblock and you get a DUI, I mean, I don't call that person a chronic, the first one.
No, that can happen to that can probably happen to most anybody.
Right.
Truth be known, that can probably happen to most anybody. I guess because I see more of the problem drinkers.
Right, the ones who have accidents, the one who, you know, they maim, they kill, they disfigure, and
the ones that we can do something about, not the first-time offender that you didn't know anything about, and once you learn it may be too late. The people that you could possibly keep off the street because it's their history. You saw it coming. Those are the ones that scare me. I mean, they all scare me, but those are the ones I feel guilty about.
See, the problem we have, one of the problems is everybody's treated alike as a first offender. You can have a .08 where you can be a .17, and you can be in an accident and you cannot be in an accident, and everybody generally gets the first-time offender. You might be subject to 4 hours in jail or 1 overnight, and you get 12 months restricted. You go through ASAP. I think a person, you know, who's an 08, an 07, first offense, no accident.
Individual circumstance.
Yeah, I think we got to individualize this a little bit.
Oh yeah, you do. But I don't think anything we do could be too light. I think if you can get them on the first and get their attention, by the time they pay court costs and lawyers' fees.
Lawyers, court costs, insurance.
Right.
And a restricted driver. I mean, I can't imagine how people live driving with a restricted license.
Right. No,
to and from work, period. Maybe there's an exception for school and doctor's appointments. So school, doctor's appointments, and work. And there's not an exception for shopping. I don't know how people shop and, pick up groceries. You can't even do that.
They have to have consequences, and I think the harder we come down with them on the first offense, we're either going to catch them at that point and they're going to say, oh my God, it's not worth it, or then there's a problem and you'll just have to see.
Okay. Appreciate
Thank
the
you.
call. Thank you. We'll take a break. This is Live TV. We're here with Carter Hill discussing mothers against drunk drivers and the issues related to driving while under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
My name is Randolph Carlisle. I've been a police officer for over 36 years, both as a deputy chief in Richmond and as a chief of police elsewhere. During this time, I've watched many lawyers practice in court. When I needed a lawyer, I came to see Michael Moorchow. I believe that he got the best results that could have been obtained for me, and I would highly recommend him to anyone who has a legal problem.
Warning, you may lose your foursome. No! Now you can feel like the world champion every time you hit a golf ball. Introducing the Hammer, a 21st century driver that's flipping the golf industry upside down. The Hammer was designed to completely invert and obsolete the shape of conventional golf. It incorporates Zolex, a 21st century metal that obsoletes titanium, a massive impact zone that's the largest in the world, a revolutionary vortex foil design that increases clubhead speeds up to 25%, a driver that harnesses unbelievable G-force technology, and the patented Smart Shaft, a multiple flex shaft that responds perfectly to any swing speed. Test drive the world champion driver today.
Now you can smash the ball like the world champion.
Call the number on your screen now. Add up to 50 yards to your drive guaranteed with a Hammer. Call now for information.
Freeze! We're your local team of mortgage professionals at Community Home Mortgage of Virginia.
Tune in every Wednesday night as we discuss the issues that interest you, Richmond.
We're here to answer your questions and make buying a new home or refinancing the one you already own easier.
So don't forget, tune in every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for Community Home Mortgage of Virginia, your local team of mortgage professionals.
We're back. I'm Mike Moorchow. We're here with Carter Hill, who is the president of the local MAD chapter. We want to know how you feel about abstaining from alcohol when you drive a motor vehicle. Let's go to our phone lines. Carter, you lost a son.
Yes.
At the age of 18?
20.
20, and how old would he be today?
He was 25 December 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Of this year. He would have been 25.
And you have a daughter?
I have a daughter that's 18.
Okay, and obviously no one recovers from losing a son or a daughter.
I don't think you recover under any circumstances. You know, I guess it's designed that, you know, we're supposed to bury our parents. I mean, our kids are supposed to bury us as parents.
And we're not supposed to bury them.
That's right, and that's probably, you know, the hardest thing.
Do you relive that night? I know you probably have gone back and reviewed every minute prior to your son's death.
I don't review that night that much, but I do talk about it some, like when we do different presentations. If I think it's needed, I'll add that to my presentation. But I will say this, a day don't go by I don't think about him at one point or the other. I'm not saying that I wake up every morning thinking about my son, but as the day goes through, it's not a day that's ever gone by in the last 5 years that I haven't thought about him at one point at a time.
And before then, what was your thinking about, did you pay much attention to drinking and driving?
No, I'm just like your audience. I figured somebody else was taking care of the problem. I knew the problem was out there, but, and that's a good question because I just never thought about it. I really didn't. I really didn't.
Now, there's very few of us who can say that we have never driven a car when we weren't under the alcohol.
That's true.
Under the influence of alcohol.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, I want to hear from someone who's never driven a car after consuming alcohol, and it must be in the 20% or less.
It probably is. I know people that have never probably drank a drop. In fact, I did I was doing a presentation with a police officer 6 or 8 weeks ago, and he's never drank a drop of alcohol in his life. They're out there, but and just like I told you before, everybody makes mistakes. People get caught for DUI, and a lot of people that get caught never do it again. I'm telling you, I can assure you that.
I'm sure it's 75% never do it again.
Actually, it's probably 25% to never do it again.
20, that's all?
Yeah, because statistics show that a person that gets caught DUI, 72% of them come back for another DUI within 10 years in the state of Virginia.
Now, what percentage of people get caught?
I don't know what the percentage is, but there's 30,000 people that are arrested in the state of Virginia each year for DUI.
And there's probably 100,000 that don't get caught.
Well, the police officers will tell you when they're arresting one, 3 will go by. So 100,000 is a good number.
Okay, let's go to Patricia. Patricia, how are you?
I'm here.
Appreciate the call.
Yes. I know several people. I have two teenage children, or older than that. But I know that several friends, including my own, have been involved in car accidents, which fortunately no one was killed in, but alcohol was involved. And the officer pointed out, and the emergency room doctors pointed out, the extreme alcohol content, which was like 2.75, and did not issue a ticket or anything. And this is happening over and over and over again. He's got friends out there that have been popped maybe 5, 6 times within the last 5 years. They get good attorneys, such as yourself, and plea bargain it down. And it's
Well, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen as frequently as that. I promise you.
Well, why are they still on the road? Why have they got work permits? I have friends of my own.
Well, I mean, they don't have. I mean, they have restricted driver's licenses, but they're still convicted for driving under the influence. You usually get a restricted driver's license for 12 months. You can drive to and from work, and you're a first-time convicted.
No, these are not first-time offenders.
Excuse me?
These are not first-time offenders. We're talking second and
Well,
third
you
time.
can get a restricted driver's license, second-time offenders too, after 4 months. Depends upon whether it's within 5 years or outside of 5 years. But
well, I think the rules.
you can't, you can't lock everybody up. You can't catch everybody for.
Oh, I understand that.
I mean, look at the murder rate. And why are people still killing each other, or why are people possessing firearms when people are going to prison every day for possessing firearms?
Correct. That gets pleaded down too.
Yeah, Mothers Against Firearms. You can have a crusade against firearms.
So when you've got to where an emergency room nor a police officer will report an incident, what are you supposed to do?
If what?
If you have an incident where an emergency room nor a police officer will report or acknowledge an incident, what are you supposed to do?
Well, I don't know of any police officers who don't.
I do, because it happened to me.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you can go to that police department and complain about it, but I know police officers who have chased people down in a hospital room and interviewed them in a hospital room. I mean, it's...
Okay, what about, all right, I have another person that as long as you pull off to the side of the road and the keys are not in the ignition, the officer will let that person stay there and leave them with keys.
Well, if you take the key out of the... if you take the key out of the ignition, the car is not running, and you get away from, move away from the driver's seat, you're okay.
But that's a ridiculous rule. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
it's stuff like that.
But you're not driving. If you're in a back seat asleep, you're not driving the vehicle.
No, I'm talking about people passing out at the wheel, but they take the keys out of the car so they intentionally can't get caught for reckless driving. But they're still out in public, sitting in a car on the side of the road, waiting for the police to leave in time to pass, and then they go out.
I don't see that many those kind of situations that frequently. Maybe you do, but I don't. Henrico Police Department and Chesterfield in the city of Richmond, they are aggressive police departments. They'll chase you down if they think you're driving under the influence.
I wish they were more aggressive.
Yeah, well, they are.
They're letting up on it, and I think that
you ought to go to court.
There's been a lot of laws.
You ought to go to court and listen to these cases, and you'll see these officers are hustling
Oh, I understand that. I'm not putting this on the police officers. I'm putting this on the local government, but
Well,
they're not enforcing what
Look,
they
it's
say
not the
they
local government, it's the parents, you know. It's the parents who permit their kids to drive when they're drunk.
What if they're over 18?
Well, when you're over 18, when my kid's over 18, he's still, if he's living home, he's living under your roof, isn't he?
No, that's not the situation.
What do you mean, they're living away from home?
Yeah.
Over 18? I don't think a kid 18 years old ought to be living home. He's probably too young to live away from home.
I graduated when I was 17.
And you lived away from home?
Yeah, at
Well,
17.
God help you. You did well. You're an exception.
And went to college the next year.
Well, look at the kids today. You can't turn, you've got to supervise your children with a magnifying.
Now, how about this? Their response is, I'm 18, I can take care of myself.
Well, they can't take care of themselves.
And I know that, but the law backs them up on it. We're screwed.
The law does not back, well, the law does and it doesn't. If your kid respects you, he's not going to be out there, and if you instill the right discipline in him and her, they're not going to be out there, you know, they may be, but you have a better chance of keeping them out of drugs, away from...
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying when you're under the influence, you are not thinking straight. You don't always remember everything Mom and Dad said. You know, you understand where I'm coming from?
I hear you, I hear you.
But when police officers raid parties or they stop people and they say, well, if you promise to sit here for an hour, you know, and don't go anywhere, then I'll come back, you know, you can drive yourself home. That makes no sense to me.
Okay, good call. Thank you very much. We'll be back. We got Spencer on the line, and Bill will be back in about 2 minutes.
When I had serious charges, I contacted Michael Morchauer. I've seen him in action in the courtroom. He knew what was going on when he spoke to the judge and the police officers. He let my family and I know what was going on. I owe him my freedom. If you have serious charges and need excellent representation, contact Michael Morchauer.
Hi, I'm Big Al Coleman, and I'm back on RIC TV. Now, why am I back on RIC TV? Why else? To talk sports. Join me every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 for the Virginia Lottery, Speaking of Sports with me, Big Al. We'll have great guests lined up every week, and of course, take your phone calls at 353-1111. So slide the wife or girlfriend, that 20, send them out shopping, settle on down in that easy chair, and give me a call every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock on RIC TV for the Virginia Lottery, Speaking of Sports with Big Al.
This holiday season, turn your home into a holiday wonderland. We'll show you how on the Ben Franklin Crafts and Frames Hour. Join our experts as they demonstrate custom framing, how to make beautiful crafts, florals, and sparkling home decorations for the holidays. It's fun-filled entertainment the entire family will enjoy. This year, people are giving gifts from the heart. We'll show you how to make wonderful gifts and decorations to put the personal touch on the holidays. The Ben Franklin Crafts and Frames Hour every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on RIC TV.
If you're thinking about remodeling or repairing your home or maybe adding a Florida room, then don't miss the Mr. Fix-It Show every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. on RIC TV. You'll see the latest trends in home remodeling and maintenance, and you'll talk with experts who are ready to answer all your questions about home improvements. Remodeling your home doesn't have to be a nightmare. It's easy with Mr. Fix-It. Get all the information you need from the Mr. Fix-It Show, Tuesday at 9 p.m. on RIC TV.
I'm back. I'm Mike Morchauer. We have Carter Hill, who is the president of the local MAD, I guess, affiliation. What is the proper name?
MAD chapter.
MAD chapter. If you got questions, and there's some beautiful people behind us who have lost their lives as a result of a drunk driver. Look at that array of photographs. Let's go to who are we going to go to? We'll go to Spencer. Spencer, how are you?
Oh, fine, thank you.
Yes, sir. What can we do for you?
I used to be a bartender.
Right.
But I never took a drink on a bar.
Right.
And one night I had been out, and I was driving slow because I am scared of speed. Because because I don't want to get caught speeding.
Yes, sir.
And I was driving okay, and the cops stopped me. He asked me what had I been drinking. I said, man, I don't drink. He said, well,
He didn't believe you.
I said, smell my breath. He said, I'm not accustomed to
Smell one's breath.
smelling breath. So I got hot. I said, tell me what did you stop me for? So he couldn't tell me. I was driving a brand new Cadillac. So I told him, I said, you stopped me because you can't see a black man driving a
New Cadillac.
Cadillac. So then he said, have a good day. You know?
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate the call. Let's take a call from Bill. That's a good point. Let's go take a call from Bill. Bill, how are you?
Good evening. My question is, how does MAD put tax deductible contributions to work?
Okay, the money that we get donated, we're 501c3, and most all of the money that we get, is donated to us. If you see the red ribbons around town, most of the money goes to public awareness, and red ribbons is probably one of our biggest expenses. We probably, and you see one displayed on TV right now, we hand out probably about 70,000 to 80,000 of those in the Richmond area every single year. And we have other public awareness literature that we have, giveaways, pens, pencils, and to answer your question, probably in the Richmond chapter, I'd say 70%, 80% goes straight to public awareness.
Okay, appreciate the call. Let's go to Bob. Bob, how are you tonight? Hi.
Hello?
Hi, you're on live television.
Oh, how you doing, Mike?
Good, appreciate the call.
What I'd like to know basically is what is the goal of Mothers Against Drunk Driving? I came into the show a little late.
Okay, what is your goal, Carter?
Our goal is to stop drunk driving, support the victims of this violent crime, and September 1st, 1999, we added to our mission statement to prevent underage drinking. And that pretty much, says it all, what we try to do.
Okay. Okay, appreciate the call. Let's go to Tammy. Who's that? Tracy Clark, Miss Black America?
Right. Well, that's Miss Black America Richmond.
Right.
But she was on her way up the ladder and she's being displayed on TV right now.
Okay. Miss Black Richmond.
Right.
Okay. Tell me about Reverend Moncure.
Mr. Charles Moncure, his son is an active member in our chapter.
Can we take a shot at him? And was it him and his family, or just it was him and his family?
Right,
wasn't it?
This is kind of a story here. He was in Florida.
Vacationing?
Vacationing. He was coming back from a golf outing, and drunk driver came down through the medium strip and hit him head on. The guy was a multiple offender. He was a snowbird from Connecticut. He had 2 cases of beer and 2 bottles of vodka in his back seat.
And who was killed?
He was killed, and Mr. Moncure was killed. But 1 second behind Mr. Moncure was a whole family of people that 1 second later they would have got killed, and they saw the whole thing happen. and they reported that to Charles Jr.
How about Wayne Eggleston, VMI?
Yeah, he was killed by a drunk driver in Alabama, New Year's Eve. Young man ran into him head on.
1980.
Right.
1980.
1990.
1990. I'm sorry. What about Nikki Martindale?
She was killed by a drunk driver out in Chesterfield. I don't know a whole lot about that. That was way before my time, but she was killed in 1992. This whole family here.
Up here, the whole family?
Well, 4 of them was killed.
Broadnecks?
Yeah, and 2 of them were injured, all in one crash.
Okay. So I guess your message is we want people, MAD wants, I guess your message is for everybody to remember that these were real people who were killed by a drunk driver.
What I want everybody to remember is the drunk driver has no target. Anybody can be a target. I've been to many court, and I know you have too, and you know, just please don't drink and drive throughout this holiday season.
Okay. Carter, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We want to wish everybody a happy holiday and have a safe and sober week. And if the creek don't rise, I'll see you next Monday night. Good night.
The hair